up, ladies and G-words? Welcome back to my main channel, or this could be my second channel, I'm not too sure yet. I'm currently sitting on the ground in my room in Marbella, and if you hear noises, that's my friends downstairs. So today we have a really interesting video. It is about how the CIA, the Gateway documents, have proved manifestation is real. I'm sure you've all heard about them. Now, if you're new to my channel, we love to talk about science, spirituality, manifestation, and psychology, because that is my background and I love to link it all together. So today I'm going to briefly go over the CIA documents with you. I would love to make like a 40-minute, 1-hour video on this one day, but I want to try and keep this short, to the point, give you like a summary TLDR of what the documents say and how it links to manifestation, Joe Dispenza, Kabbalah, a few other thought leaders, how it links to everything else, and also the protocol that they use to manifest. So I've got my notes here. Number one, guys, the documents say, and I say it in all my manifestation videos, that consciousness is our only reality. We are not separate from reality. Now, this is what it says. Consciousness is the source of all reality. Our thoughts have the power to influence the development of reality in time-space as it applies to us if those thoughts can be projected with adequate intensity. That is the entire document's central core theme. This is why I always urge in all of my videos that you need to be conscious of your thoughts, because you are the creator. Everything that's going up here, guys, is just going to be projected outwards. For example, recently I've gotten into a pattern, and this happens when I'm traveling, where my skin starts to get really bad and I will hyperfixate on a spot. Right now I'm wearing makeup, but I have like perioral dermatitis. I'm breaking out here and I really start to hyperfixate on this. The past 2 nights, it started to clear up miraculously because I just started going, no, I have clear skin. I put on a right frequency when I go to bed. I have clear skin. And I rewrite my identity. My identity has always been, I'm someone who's very acne prone. Now I'm rewriting it. I've never been acne prone. I always have clear skin. Because I remembered, consciousness is my reality. I can control all of this. And suddenly, it has started to clear up. And if you go on Reddit, you'll find lots of stories like this. So whenever you find yourself dwelling on something negative, you remind yourself that you are the creator. You are going to dictate what shows up in your 3D reality. And if you continuously dwell on a negative thought, you're giving it so much energy that of course it is going to become real. Likewise, this can happen in the opposite way. If you are giving a positive thought so much energy, even if it hasn't happened yet, even if this reality that you're trying to manifest for yourself has not happened, if you can project enough intensity, it will happen. And we'll talk about this later on. Okay, point 2. And this is because, point 2, our thoughts literally create a holographic template. So the thought patterns generated by our consciousness in a state of expanded awareness creates holograms which represent the situation we desire to bring about. And in doing so, establishes the basis for actual realization of that goal. And 3, once projected, the thought then becomes a part of reality itself. Once the thought generated hologram of the sought after objective is established in the universe, it becomes an aspect of reality which interacts with the universal hologram to bring about the desired objective, which might not under other circumstances ever occur. And if we even think about quantum physics talks about how we are shifting between realities every single second. And the reason why people are always trying to have massive shifts in the reality, and it usually doesn't work, is because your whole world is going to shift so much and you're simply not ready for that. And how can you go from A to B, this like crazy frequency jump, like in this reality you're broke, you expect to wake up rich in the next reality? I'm sure there are some people on such a high frequency with such amazing control over their mind that they're able to do that. Like very few people in the world, but the vast majority cannot do that. You might say limiting belief, it's true, bro. It's the way we've been socialized, the limiting beliefs we have grown up with. And that is why meditation comes up so often. The fact that when we get into a meditative state and we're able to gain control over our thoughts, that is when we make the most progress. Now remember, every single second you're shifting reality, so even a minor shift in your frequency and your thought process and whatever you're thinking, by the way, is influencing this frequency, then even though everything around you doesn't look any different, you have still shifted. So imagine if every day your frequency and your thought process continues to improve. What is this going to look like in a week, a month, a year? You just have to be consistent, and you need to be consistent with upgrading your thought process. Kabbalah even says this. Every time we don't give into our tikkuns, you can call it a pattern in psychological terms. Every time we don't repeat a pattern, we don't give into our vices, we don't perform a negative action that we usually might perform, we don't react, we shift multiple destinies. Because think about how great that is. Think about how you have been living the same life. You're continuously performing the same actions, choosing the same pathway, and then one day you decide not to do that anymore. You didn't just shift one reality. Kabbalah says you have shifted thousands of destinies because you have completely put yourself on a new timeline now. But now the new you, who has made a different decision, who has broken that pattern, they have access to all of these other realities now, which were otherwise not available to the previous version of themselves. Because in this reality, that person would have never even thought that that is available to them because of the actions they were perpetuating before. Does that make sense, guys? So I actually think it becomes really fun when you think about it this way. Anytime something negative happens, you want to react. Kabbalah says you say, like, thank you for this opportunity right now. This is great because now I'm getting a test. What am I going to do differently now? Am I going to stay the same, or am I going to change? And when I change and I choose differently for myself in this moment, everything will shift. And guess what? If this negative thing didn't actually happen, if my trigger didn't come up again, I would not have had the opportunity to then shift 1,000 destinies. So in the CIA document, they have a technique called patterning. We can also, in my opinion, this is just focused thought during a meditation, which Joe Dispenza also teaches. It's essentially where you concentrate on your desired objective in an expanded awareness state, extending your perception of it into your whole consciousness and projecting it into the universe with conviction that it is already achieved within the time frame that you set. So all manifestation techniques, theories, studies, whatever, come back to one core thing. You already have it. Just because it is not in this reality, it is in one reality out there. It is yours. And in order to collapse timelines, collapse realities for you to have it right now, you must believe and have full certainty that it is yours right now. So if you really struggle with certainty, that is where meditation comes in. When you can get into this focused awareness state without any distractions, you can put on binaural beats, you can do a guided meditation, you can use Joe Dispenza. There are numerous techniques you can use. You hold focused thought, you have awareness. That is when you're going to be able to come out of these meditations and feel a shift. So like I said, if you are someone who has a lot of limiting beliefs, it is hard for you to remain in the state of certainty, then you should be meditating more than someone who might find this otherwise easy. Point 5. Intensity and belief matter more than time spent. So the document notes that the speed of progress depends less on the hour's practice and more on the individual's ability to release anxiety and internal energy blockages that get in the way. Again, numerous manifestation theories talk about this, and science. Sorry guys, I am losing my voice. Remember, our emotions and our thoughts carry a frequency. There is a whole frequency scale there. The more you are able to be up here, raise your frequency, and also match the frequency of your desired reality as much as possible, of course you're going to shift faster. So if you can get into the state in 2 minutes, you don't have to do a 2-hour-long meditation. But perhaps it's going to take you like 22-hour-long meditation sessions to become the person who can just shift in 2 minutes, because then it will be more natural to you. The only thing you need to do is be consistent and not give up, and to continuously remind yourself throughout the day that you are a conscious creator. So the CIA document, and I will get some pushback for this, I know they'll be like, limiting belief alert. Okay, the CIA document says that the bigger your ask, the more time it's going to take. The more complicated the objective sought and the more radically it departs from our current reality, the more time the universal hologram would need to reorient our reality sphere to accommodate our desires. Now, I actually agree with this, and I've spoken about this in one of my videos where I said a better manifestation technique is for you to simply manifest the next step into your life versus the entire thing. Example, you are currently broke, okay, you're in debt. You are like, I'm going to manifest being a billionaire. You don't even have any concept of what a billionaire deals with. You don't know. I don't care if you say, you know, you don't know. It's completely different when you have it. You don't even know what it's like to not be in debt, to have a stable job, to make 100K a month, to make 1K a month. Do you see what I mean? There are so many steps along the way to get you here. And I actually created a game for myself like 8 years ago where I would say level 1, this is what I'm going to conquer. Level 2, this. And I broke it down. So my life has been entirely gamified. And when I manifest, I will only focus on level 2, then level 3, then level 4. And this is what the CIA says. If you want to manifest better, focus on the next step. Break it up, because it's going to feel more realistic to you. Your subconscious is going to fight it less, and it's going to be less difficult for it to manifest into your reality. Yeah, people will say limiting beliefs. Guys, like I said, we have been raised with all these limiting beliefs. It's not just going to go away like this. You're not just going to listen to some limiting belief subliminal and it's going to go away. But then again, we are the creator of our reality. So maybe in your reality, it is gone. You don't have limiting beliefs, right? That is one point that can be argued. But how easy is it for that to dissolve? Do you see what I'm saying? Monroe trainers caution against forcing the manifestation, warning that the individual could succeed in dislocating his existing reality with drastic consequences. So hypothetically, you do go from broke to billionaire. This reality shift might be so shocking to you that your entire world then collapses because you do not know, like I said, all the steps in between. You don't even know what to do with this. Now, it is super rare that someone does have such a massive jump like this. But again, remember earlier in my video, I said there are some people out there who maybe they did not grow up socialized in modern society. They grew up like very disconnected. So they're going to have an entirely different belief system to the rest of us. Maybe they have extreme control over their thoughts. They have a childlike imagination still. They have like a monk level of meditation and control over their mind. It will be easier for those types of people to have such drastic jumps. Now, this one is really interesting. Group patterning amplifies the effect. So the document's own protocol, which we will talk about, includes having groups unite their altered consciousness to build holographic patterns together for protection and to help others faster. I was watching a Joe Dispenza video a couple of weeks ago, and he said that he creates on Facebook these groups of like 80 people at a time where they come together, and all these people, they will consciously, I think they pray or they meditate upon someone's healing. And even if that person is on the other side of the world and they are not doing anything to heal themselves, they end up becoming miraculously healed. Imagine you have your own power, your own intention. You're focusing so much on this and you have your own hologram. Now it is amplified with 80 people out there in the world. Imagine how powerful that is. And this is why witches have covens as well, if you're into that. So now this is the step-by-step process they use to essentially meditate and manifest. Number 1, you need to get into a focus 12 state, which in the document basically is, number 1, you're in a deeply relaxed state. Basically, you're nearly asleep. 2, your mind is alert and aware. 3, both brain hemispheres are synchronized. So step 1, you want to sit down and you want to be very specific about what you want. It can't be like, I want more money. It needs to be, I want to get $10,000 by March, for example. And it needs to be believable to you. So remember what I said, how I gamified my life. Go to level 2. And it has to be one thing at a time. You don't want to be scattering your attention, because if we can focus on one thing and direct all of your attention and your energy onto that one thing at a time, you're going to have so much more result than trying to manifest 10 things at once. So write it down in one clear sentence. I'm going to have one client paying me $10,000 by March 29. Okay, step 2, you want to empty your mind. So there is a technique that they teach called the energy conversion box. Imagine a box that is solid and you want to dump every single worry and fear into this box. Then you close the lid and you put it aside and you start to relax your body. If you guys have done my 30-day challenge, I talk about how you relax your body and you do your body scans. You basically start from the top of your head and one by one you go down the whole body, scanning where you're feeling tension and just relaxing that area. And the more you do it, the easier it will become. And the whole time you need to maintain steady rhythmic breathing. Next, you want to build the hologram. By the way, guys, you can put on the hemi-sync tapes when you're doing this. They are available on YouTube and on SoundCloud. Or put on some like binaural beats. You need to wear earphones. okay? Then we want to build the hologram, and the hologram is just you feeling all the emotions of your desire. Neville Goddard talks about it. It is building a satsine state akin to sleep. It's literally the same thing, except this time we're putting in the hemisync tapes. Do you see how everything overlaps, guys? Everything literally overlaps. This is why I love to talk about it on my channel. Think about like who you're with, what is happening when you get the desire, where are you in that moment, what day is it. Every single detail, you want to bring it to life, and you need to hold the mindset that it is already done. Kabbalah teaches certainty. Kabbalah says when we hold certainty, we collapse timelines. Now, after 5-10 minutes, when you are done replaying your scene over and over again, you then want to visualize it expanding out of your body and you pushing it like a signal outward from yourself. That is building the hologram. And then once you've broadcasted your hologram, you want to let it go completely. And once you get up from this meditation, guys, it is done. You can no longer be thinking from the perspective of when is it going to come, how is it going to come, because if you actually truly held certainty it was yours, you collapsed the timeline that you have it now, why would you be thinking from this lack perspective? Because you already have it. And it's difficult, so over time you need to train yourself into believing that when I get up from my meditations, it is done. Go watch my recent manifestation video, by the way. We talk a lot about the lack mindset and why your manifestations aren't working. I recommend doing this at least once per day. You can do it before you go to bed, like 5-10 minutes. It's not that difficult. You don't need to listen to the entire hemisync tapes, in my opinion, unless you're someone who's relatively new to meditation. Otherwise, just put in some binaural beats, sit there for 5-10 minutes, and really teach yourself and allow yourself to feel the emotions. The more emotions you can feel, as if this desire has already happened, the faster it will happen. Now, if you want something to happen faster, create your own group. Get 10 of your friends to do this with you. And together, you're going to create such a powerful hologram and it will come even faster. Okay guys, I hope this wasn't too woo-woo for some of you. In my opinion, this is not woo-woo at all. This is why I told you on my channel I love to bridge spirituality with science and everything. So I hope it made sense, and I will see you guys next time on my main channel, on my second channel. I think this is a main channel video. Anyway, ich liebe dich. Tschüss.